Time is...
It's 7:30 this evening.
7:30. And I wanted to be home earlier today, and this is all Steve's fault. He just came in randomly and was doing the wiring room, nice and tidy job, not like this. So I can borrow a polo for a minute, a couple of hours. And he came back with this. Now it's up to you to explain what it is.
Well, this is a 5-cylinder, 20 valve VR5, which we have just bolted up to a DSG gearbox. And now we're going to see the question that, well, we've been wondering, but whether any of you have, I don't know, is does it fit in an MR2?
This time of the day, I hope it doesn't, because if it does, we all know what that means.
Yeah, that's the trouble. If it fits, we'll get excited, and yeah, there'd be a complete fitting kit done by the end of the day. We'll see. I hope it does, purely because this is the first time I've really had a play with a VR5, like had a look at how it's laid out, and I really like it.
Noises, nice noises.
Yeah. Noises of a crane struggling, because that is an incredibly heavy gearbox. I'm not really like car. If the seatbelt breaks or anything collapses, at least I've got it on video.
How not to video?
Do you need a hand?
Nah. I've done this a couple of times before.
Yeah.
Should be okay.
Thomas has completed some custom engine mounts, so that a VR will now fit perfectly in the engine bay, including a DSG or a manual box. It needs to be a Mark IV chassis DSG or manual, because that's what the mounts are for. Mark V's and so on, it's a different one, but still it fits. R32 fits easily as well, because I don't know, well, unless you know R32s you wouldn't know this, but the VR6, so 2.8 or 3.2, the engine mount is basically exactly the same as this, but flush against there. It fits on the same mount, because for the extra cylinder of the VR6, basically the engine goes to there instead of there. So fitment wise, is absolutely identical as this VR5. And obviously, because Thomas got excited, he put a turbo there to show what it could be like. And look, all the extra room you can have for even bigger turbos if you want. So yeah, really, this is a whole another level of crazy. I mean, 180, yeah, you can go, like, people have done 1400 horsepower, but it's still a small capacity, super revvy, you know, not high torque thing. 3.2 litre turbo, that's the kind of thing that you see in a, you know, a big power 2J in a big car, not in a fucking MR2. This is going to be absolutely ridiculous if someone did that. 3.2 turbo, I mean, I'm not sure what the limit of people have got on VR6 turbos these days, but it's, you know, 1500 plus, so it's 180 maximum and then some, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, absolute insanity. Obviously it's still not as simple swap as 180. 180 is, well, as you've seen from mine, it's super easy, you know, easy to work on, easy to fit, nothing custom, nothing complicated. This, it fits with no subframe modifications, no chassis modifications, it's all good. The one thing you will need to do is, well, you got two options. You either massage the bulkhead with a hammer, which personally I don't see the point, because on this, like I said already, the easiest thing to do is what they do on all the V6 ones, and even that Volvo 5-cylinder one, and even the K-swap ones when they put a big inlet manifold, is simply cut out, you know, a chunk of this bulkhead so it's removable, and then add some riv nuts and then bolt it back down so you can work on it perfectly, access everything perfectly, and then unbolt and bolt it as you need to. It kind of makes it just a lot nicer to work on no matter what engine you got. I mean, to be fair, if I had a 1.8T with a big inlet manifold, I would probably do that myself just to make life super easy. But that is it. Apart from that, it's gonna go. And as you can see, it looks amazing. And unfortunately, it gives me ideas. I'm not changing out the 1.8T in mine because, well, it's brilliant. It'd just be madness. I'll be complicating things for nothing. But I can so see myself, my new daily MR2, which I'll show you in a second actually, was meant to be my daily car, which I was gonna probably 1.8T, but at this rate it's gonna turn into my another race car, which means I'll have to buy another daily. But yeah, not yet for me. But yeah, this is the prototype done, so we got to get some production ones done, because obviously all the mounts, gearbox mount is actually the same, all the other mounts are different, not wildly, but they're different to the 1.8T because things sit differently. But you know, not a big deal. So yeah, if you really want to go crazy and make a VR, it's possible. I mean, this is without a shadow of a doubt the way to make the maddest Mark III MR2s on the planet. People do these Toyota V6 conversions on them, which are nowhere near as tunable, far bigger engines, just horrendous. This is compact, tunable, amazing. If anyone chooses still to do like the Toyota V6s, you got to be out of your bloody mind. This is my new daily one as well. 49,000 miles on it now. It had 48, but I've been driving it a lot in the last couple of days. TRD spoiler, apart from that, completely standard. Very clean. Too clean for me, but they're cheap, so doesn't matter. I was gonna just run this around as it is, and then when I get the money and the time, 1.8T it. But this VR thing, I can still see me getting carried away, and this ends up the donor car for a VR swap, and end up buying a new daily. Who knows, who knows. I was about to hang about at the workshop for a bit anyway to wait for somebody to turn up. I decided to actually finally do a bit on my own car. So I've mounted the oil catch cans, one there and one there, one on each chassis rail basically. That's, you know, fairly overkill, but it's not at the same time. I think a lot of people's oil breather setups are too small, too restrictive. Basically, if there's any pressure in them, then they're too small. And most people's hoses are fucking tiny. I would ideally like one 19mm hose from the block, one from the head, then down, and then T piece or Y piece or whatever to these two, which are like 15mm, I can't remember, something like that. And then yeah, both shared to one for each catch string. And it fits everything. It clears the exhaust where I've mounted it, it clears the anti-roll bar. They've got nice drain taps on them, so I can drain them out if need be. And yeah, that'd be ideal. The routing of the actual breather hoses, I'll wait until the very end. I'll wait until all the boost pipes are done, because obviously it all needs sorting first, and then the breather pipes can go wherever there's room really. So, but you can see there's clearance to the exhaust. The one thing I will need to do is change where the screamer pipes exit in, because before it basically went here, and you can't because the hoses are in the way. I can go below it. Unfortunately, because I want to do a flat floor, I can't do just straight down there, which to be honest I'd like to, because why not. But yeah, despite the VR5 and VR6 shenanigans, I ain't going VR5 or VR6 anytime soon, because, well, I don't really see the point until you're going like absolutely spastic amounts of power, because I'm at 514 as it is on pump on a basic 180. It's like I'm in a car that weighs like 900 kilos. So, you know, and to be honest, even if I was going 700 or 700 plus, personally, I'd rather build one of these than go to all the effort of doing a VR, because this is just so simple and perfect. It's made for it. Don't get me wrong, I'd love one. I would actually I think I'd probably go VR5, but it wouldn't be instead of this, it'd be for a separate car, and it would be like maybe this sort of power, maybe less, but it'd be more like a fucking rally car. It would just be because I love Audi Quattro Group B rally cars, and I just want that noise. It wouldn't be a straight line performance car. That's what this is. And to me personally, I think 180s are a better bet for a light car like this. You don't need the torque, but you know, and this, it fits so perfectly, there's no nothing. Whereas as fucking cool as a VR5 VR6 is, it's a hell of a lot more work than this. This just bolts in. That needs custom stuff. This just can use standard manifolds. That will not need standard manifolds. This is all set up to be boosted from the factory, including with the loom, the ECU, everything. VRs are certainly not. So as much as they can make insane power, and probably make insane power while being more reliable and certainly more torquey, this don't need torque. And yeah, 99% of people who drove one of these, even with 250 horsepower, would probably poo themselves. Never mind 500 like mine, and never mind, you know, the 700 plus. That is probably when you can justify going for a VR. Me personally, I'm going to, if I ever decide to go for much more power than I've got here, I'm going to put forged pistons in this, big valve head, probably bigger turbo and manifold setup and all that, and carry on with a 180, because wow, people have pushed 1400 plus horsepower on these, and it's like I can't imagine me ever needing more than fucking 750, even if I want to run like stupidly fast. Even as it is, it'd destroy 99% of fucking supercars and shit on the road. It's not as fast as a 720S McLaren, but it's faster than almost everything else. So it's like, you know, and another 200 brake will just obliterate everything. So it's like, wow, how far do you want to go? If one day I'm super rich and you know, if I was going 1,000 plus horsepower setup, yeah, I would just go for a VR. But who in their right minds genuinely needs 1,000 plus in a car that weighs less than a ton? You know, most 1,000 plus horsepower cars weigh best part of 2 tons. You know, GTR, Supras, whatever. So yeah, the thing is, most people who have these ideas that they want or need massive power have never driven a big power car in their fucking lives. This video is going to be an absolute nightmare to edit, because I keep changing my mind of what I'm doing and when I'm going to stop. But I've just mounted the swirl pot, so that's where the tank is, you know, the standard pump. Those 2 holes I've made, I'm going to put grommets, and that's where the outlet and return to the main tank's going to be, and then go to there, and then I'll probably put the bulkhead connectors so the hoses can go into the engine bay, probably through that bit, and job done. That won't be on this video though, because I need to go and buy some bits. That's another little job done. I cut and welded the screamer pipe so it now avoids the oil catch tank lines. So basically exits the same place, but it now avoids it. So looks like shit, but I don't care because you can't see it anyway. So that is another job ticked off. So I've just painted the screamer pipe just in some random engine enamel black, just to make it look a bit more presentable. And then I thought, well, to heat shield it away from the breather tank lines, I just wrapped it in this blanket thing. It's not a turbo blanket, it's a similar sort of thing, but it's made for pipe. And I used it on the original 18T setup I had, but I don't need it for this one. So it was easier to use this than use a turbo blanket. It literally, it was easier to use this than use like exhaust wrap. So it literally holds on like a turbo blanket with 2 springs that hold it on. And yeah, actually really ideal, to be fair. So job done. But yeah, that's the one tank, look. And that's the other tank. Woohoo!